So here we're going to cover the lateral kettlebell hip shift isometric hold. So the goal and purpose of this exercise is to help us develop some isometric strength in the adductor as well as the hip that we're shifting into. This is a good exercise to then progress into the lateral kettlebell hip shifting where we move from side to side, but also a great way to just develop some isometric strength in the lateral hip as well as that adductor of the leg that is straight. So for the setup here, what we're going to do is we're going to use a wall for reference. You can do this without a wall too. I just find it helps us keep better positioning and have something to slightly push against for one side here. Now the setup, we're going to make sure that we're not too wide. This is not your typical lateral lunge where we're going to go wide out into that sit, into that hip, but rather we're thinking of the shifting that happens when we're walking as we get over on that one hip and we balance. This happens during our gait cycle, whether it's walking, running, jogging. So we're really thinking about that, a bit of a narrow base of support and then just moving the hip and pelvis over that one foot. So I feel a lot of my weight here. I feel a lot of that side hip, may get some adductor here, but then some adductor on the inside leg as well. Now we can utilize some weight to load this as well. This is going to be held in the opposite hand of the hip that we're shifting into, so contralateral hold. So what I want to do is I'm going to set up with that one foot against the wall, not too wide. You can mess around with your stance to see and find what feels good for you. Now from here I'm going to think about pushing my butt back and over, and I'm slightly pulling that hip out to the side. What I want to avoid doing is shifting my weight forward, having that knee go up and over the foot. I'm going to think about basically creating a stack of my heel, my knee, and my hip joint here. And you can see in this position, I get a little bit of rotation because of the reach with that weight. Don't want to be all the way down. Don't want to put tension in my back. I'm going to feel this, like you can see, I'm not bending. I want to slightly extend, push into the wall. So start to feel that adductor kicking in as well. And right now, as I hang out in this position, head stays stacked over the shoulders. Don't let the neck go too far down or up. Now I'm starting to feel that tension in my hip, and that's where I'm going to try and maintain that force. With the foot, we're going to also make sure we're not like curling too hard. I'm feeling that foot into the ground, some pressure on the heels as well. And I want to avoid getting into my low back. Once I have that position, you can have that hand on my hip as well, just for support or just hanging out. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And then slow exhale from the mouth, fogging the mirror. When we exhale, we should feel the obliques kicking in. Then for the duration of the breath count or the time hold that you're going to be prescribed, just focus on repeating that. Breathing in, exhale. Now just a view from the side as well, just so that we can kind of get an idea of what we want to do and don't want to do. So once again, when I'm set up here and I shift into that hip, you can see I'm trying not to let my knee come forward, not just swaying over, and you can see a relatively straight line head to shoulder to hip. So I found that position, reach, we get a little bit of rotation, and same thing, breathing in, exhale. That is it for the lateral kettlebell hip shift.